Welcome back to some new r/petty revenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Doesn't Know My Name. A few years ago, my husband and I used to be really active in visiting the downtown area we used to live by. We also had a couple of part-time jobs in the service industry there, so we knew a lot of people by name: bartenders, servers, retail workers, owners, etc. We were also all social media friends, so there was a lot of networking and just knowing who was who. There was this one bartender in particular that my husband and I had met one night while we were sitting at one of the popular bars. She was really friendly, and we all started having a great conversation about the downtown scene. We then find out she's dating a friend of ours, so my husband and I introduce ourselves formally, and she does the same. We chatted a bit more after, until we headed out, and that was that. About 2 weeks go by, and my husband and I are out and about, and we see the bartender again. She says hi to my husband and calls him by name, and she looks at me and says, "I'm sorry, what was your name again?" "No biggie," I tell her, and the night goes on. Fast forward a couple of months, and my husband and I were out with a group of friends, and we see her and her man in their own friend circle, and they eventually come over to us. Her boyfriend is our friend, so he says hi to us like usual, but she greets my husband by his name, then looks over at me and apologizes for not knowing my name. It didn't bother me. I went ahead and told her, and she just said, "My bad," without even looking at me. I don't usually take things too hard, but she has met my husband and I at the same time, and has had the same amount of interaction. We know her boyfriend. He knows my name. I was a little miffed. Time goes on, and randomly one day, my husband and I were taking an afternoon walk downtown to get some sunshine and window shop, and we see the bartender chick walking our way. When she gets closer to us, she smiles at my husband and greets him by his name, and then looks at me again to say she's so sorry, she doesn't remember me. Before I can even respond to her, she just starts moaning about how hungover she is. Oh, she is absolutely beyond miserable. Oh, she had to work until 3 a.m. bartending, and then had to sleep in her car because she had to open too. She said she can't even keep food down, and it is so hard just trying to walk to the bar to clock in. When she finished talking, I started applauding and said, "That story was the greatest story I ever heard in my entire life. You should tell it again, so I don't ever forget it." She looked at me with complete shock and locked eyes with me for a few seconds, and finally managed to respond, "No, it isn't a great story." She didn't say anything else after, and just walked away. After that, I saw her a couple more times downtown, and she made sure to avoid me. Feels good not having to repeat my name again. The next story is called Bamboo Revenge. I'm playing the long game on this one. I live in a really cheap 1-bedroom apartment with my daughter. We moved in 4.5 years ago. My landlord promised me the 2-bedroom at a very reasonable rent price. Well, when the 2-bedroom became available, despite my income and ability to afford the rent price we had discussed, he told me he's not comfortable renting to someone on just one income, meaning a single mom. He knows I make enough to cover the 2-bedroom for what he said he'd rent it to me for, but instead he rented it out to this couple who sells substances and make their living that way. So I ordered bamboo seeds, and 3 years ago I planted them all over the building. From what I read, it takes up to 5 years for them to sprout and break ground, but in the meantime they are forming extremely complex root systems underground, which will make it nearly impossible for him to ever get rid of the invasive plant. The third story is called Dumpster Revenge. I was a gas station manager for 7 years. The first place I was managing was a small place. There was a small apartment building behind us that had 5 apartments. Many days I would come in and have to clean up trash from around the dumpster, where they would throw their trash, but not put it in the dumpster. Never could figure out where it came from, but did complain to the property manager about it. Nothing changed. One morning I came in and it was disgusting. They threw it back in untied and it was hanging off the side, with all the trash on the ground. As you can expect, I was mad. I grabbed everything necessary and went out to clean it up. The first thing I saw was a piece of mail. This is when a light bulb went off for me. I grabbed a marker and wrote on the mail, "Stop using our dumpster and making a mess." I collected all the trash, then went to their porch and proceeded to dump it out. I then set their mail on top of the pile. They said nothing about it when they came in later that day. Still makes me laugh. The last story is called Revenge on the Bully. This happened in high school, around 12 years ago. There was a girl, we'll call her Alex, that used to bully me non-stop. Alex and I actually used to be friends in elementary school, but out of the blue, she decided she was too cool for me, so she felt the need to bully me. She used to whip coins at me on the bus, so I'd get little welts. She'd have her male friends call me and ask me out as a joke, and she'd point and laugh at me in the hallway, which I thought only happened in movies, because honestly, that one is pathetic. She made my life miserable. High school comes around, and guess who has to sit next to her in Spanish class? And guess who sat behind us? The two best friends. I felt so small and invisible. She would even have her friends pick on me. I got so fed up, but was too shy to speak up. The teacher had us do a group project, and she picked teams of 4. So you worked with whoever sat near you. And of course, I had to work with her and her two best friends. I tried asking them for help, and they would stare at me and continue their conversations with each other. So I had to do the entire project by myself. I remember looking over at my teacher, and I could see the empathy in her eyes, but she didn't say anything. It wasn't a major project, but we had to come up with some script in Spanish, and all of us had to speak in front of the whole class. Since I wrote the whole thing, I made her lines make no sense, and I didn't follow any of the rules for her. We had to use certain words and tenses, and I didn't include any of that. In the middle of her speech, I think she realized what I had done, but she was in too deep to stop. The teacher raised her voice at Alex, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but her tone implied that Alex was an idiot, and that she could expect a terrible grade. The best part was the public humiliation in front of the whole class, and there were some snickers across the room. This part is just a bonus, but I haven't thought of Alex in so long until now. I decided to look her up on social media, and she posts this lavish life on the beach all the time, with her expensive Jeep and Louis Vuitton bags. Then I googled her name. There are public records of her getting sued multiple times, because she can't pay her bills, credit card companies, apartment complexes, etc. So it gives me a chuckle knowing her whole life is just for show, and she can't afford her rent. No hate to anyone that is struggling financially, but when you are buying designer items, maybe worry about paying your bills first. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.